Hi, and welcome back. Today, we are going to be focused on the mental health aspect of diet and stress management. This is a big topic that I do chat a lot about with my clients because when it comes to stress and stress management, there have been a lot of links between mental health and diet and weight struggles. There are a few questions that are pretty common that we are going to go through today, that if you have been struggling emotionally or psychologically with not feeling motivated to work out, eat healthier, or that you have generally been feeling stuck, going through emotional eating cycles like late night eating, binging, or having way too much sugar and indulging way too much into those cravings and sugar addictions, this should help to clear that up more for you. The first question is, why am I using food to cope? So for example, if you consider doing a journaling exercise with this and you look deep within yourself, you might find interesting answers come up for you that help you navigate through some of your stressful thoughts and emotions when it comes to these dietary patterns that you want to change and evolve. When I chat with my clients, when we do unplug different emotions behind the scenes through our coaching and connection, sometimes using food to cope has been a long-standing habit or passed on from an environment or social setting that is a concept that has a degree of awareness behind the pattern, but not enough to the degree of how to change, incorporate, and maybe that it's not known that it's not a healthy pattern of behavior. When it comes to behavior change, there is a lot of mental and emotional work that come together for health psychology, and it takes time to really go through to build the awareness on that level, and then to develop an emotional toolkit and stress management toolkit to be able to regularly process in a healthy way emotions so that our food is more thought about as our fuel. But to pull these habits apart and build that neuroplasticity, if you watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that neuroplasticity is one of the most important factors to building new habits. How can I stop emotional eating or binging? So that's a top question that I get asked all the time. And it really comes down to building that emotional intelligence toolkit so that we can work on managing and going through these emotions that come up for us that may be uncomfortable and leaning into that discomfort so that we can process, again, those feelings, stress, changes, and separate it away from our eating patterns. Too frequently, I've been in social environments where a conversation can be brought up that is revolved around boredom. So I'm bored, let's order food, or I'm sad, let's have cake or dessert, or I'm excited, I want to celebrate, let's order extra chocolate and ice cream, and I'm in a new environment, let's get extra snacks. And so there are interesting ways that as a nutritionist, I hear people talk about food and the concepts of how these ingredients are incorporated into the lives of, family, friends, and I'm sure you can imagine in your life with your family, friends, environments, colleagues, even in work environments, there's just like chocolates and desserts for like staff parties and meetings. So we're quite aware that when it comes to stress, sometimes sugar is a popular go-to, and the research has shown us that sugar is more addictive than cocaine. in tests and experiments with rats. So it's no shock that many or most of the humans on this planet are somewhat sugar addicts. And if you want to break that pattern or that cycle, then coaching is probably a really good step for you, at least to get your foot in the door towards managing that cycle more efficiently and building neuroplasticity to help you create new, healthier coping mechanisms. Does what I eat affect my mood? This is an interesting one because there are times where as a human you might be feeling moody and not necessarily just like hangry if you're hungry, which is a thing, and that's how like not having food can affect someone's mood. We've all been there at least once, I'm sure, being hungry. But yes, food can affect our mood. And when we look at, let's say, a kid's birthday party, for example, with all the sugar, you can see different levels of hyperactivity, for example, and different emotions running wild. From my personal experience as a kid, I would notice, well, I have been told from my parents that if I had too much sugar, I would get super hyper and run around, and I was this ball of energy like all the time. And when it came to foods I was allergic to, it would make me very emotional. And when it comes to foods with artificial ingredients, for example, they do have significant impact on behavior. Even some foods like ADD, ADHD are affected by these nutrients or chemicals, if I may. So these are very important concepts to consider, that what we eat does affect our mood, because sometimes we have a meal and we feel energized and we feel motivated, and sometimes we have a meal and we feel depleted and drained out. So it really does depend on like how much is on our plate with our macros, and also what ingredients are on there, and it could really affect our mood. So that's something to consider. And then when it comes to sugar, for example, we might have a sugar high, but as we are aware of, most times there's a crash that comes after. So it's to manage the balance of, if we want to consistently get that high artificially from sugar, which will be quick dopamine, then it gives the human body the opportunity to actually store more fat, because we may not be burning off that energy at a high rate, especially with normal work-life balance status as it is. We can consider, I will be going through some more of these challenging questions that come up as a nutritionist, and how we can start looking into them to begin working through it. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this insightful, and to have more videos like this where we can help you grow and evolve. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for sharing your time, space, and energy with me, and have a great day.